So the referee has a check and counts up to 11 and makes sure there are exactly the players that they need on the field. And referee Amin Louaf from Tunisia will blow this game into action. It is a friendly international. It is a chance for Bafana to show what they can do. Just one survivor, as you've heard, from that side that started against Dora. That's Monare, 34 years of age. The spine of the team, incidentally, tonight of South Africa are players who are getting a bit long in the tooth, effectively. In their 30s, some of them in their late 20s. No real youngsters in the side apart from Ashwin Apollos, who starts or makes only his third appearance in South African colours. For Algeria, 9 different countries represented in terms of clubs that they play for in their starting lineup. 18 here is Amoura, who plays in Belgium, and already this field looks as if it's absorbed quite a bit of water, but it's a good surface to be playing on. Ronwen Williams with a clearance, falls here to Apollos. What can he do? Looking to link up field. Here's Ikram Reyners, a chance for him to impress. 7 goals already in the PSL this season, and linking nicely with Apollos. It's already a much pacier start than we saw last week, and beautifully set up by Temba Zwane, making things happen as Bafana switch the play. Here's Mokoena. He was one of the stars of AFCON. Ball played in from the right flank, and it's a throw to South Africa on the attack early on. So Coach Petkovic, who spent 7 years as the manager of Switzerland between 2014 and 2021. He most recently coached at Bordeaux in France as well. Was given the job. Let's see what he can do with it. Of course, he's opposite number. Who knows? This might be the last time we see Hugo Broos in charge of South Africa. There's lots of speculation that he might be taking up a post at Tunisia in the days ahead. We will wait to see if that does come to fruition or not. Hopefully SAFA working very hard behind the scenes to keep Hugo Broos, because South Africa have some very key World Cup qualifiers just over 2 months away at Nigeria, and of course that home game against Zimbabwe a week later, so it's going to be crucial for them. But Ronwen Williams, 44th international for him today, key man at the back, and given the error that Ricardo Goss made last week after just 5 minutes, he'll be anxious to keep a clean sheet. Will Ronwen Williams, taking his time now, eventually releasing it upfield. Good control in the midfield here. South Africa looking to get the side moving forward, and it's Apollos who's seeing a lot of the ball. Modiba cutting inside, bit of a heavy touch, but he's still got possession of the ball. Needs to link with these midfielders. Monare releases it now to Mokoena, now wide to Papi Mobi, who we were told in the starting lineup was going to play at centre-back, and OJ and I looked at each other and said that's not going to happen. The ball now played wide to the near side, and a shot that hits the bar. What a start for South Africa. That should have been a goal, and they should have put that in the net. Ashwin Apollos, it would have been a dream for him. The man from Polokwane City, and he scored there. It would have been his first goal for South Africa, and he came so close. He's on the ball again. And now eventually Algeria haven't been in the game so far, with a chance to try and get on the ball here with their number 11, Brahimi, their captain, who's 34 years of age. But South Africa win the ball back again. The referee's blown his whistle though, and will bring them back. But wow, what a cross from the far side. It's Mobi who played it in, and Apollos in the box strikes powerfully, but somehow can't keep his shot down. Just look at this. It pinballs in the box. It's a terrific strike, and so close to a goal. The goalkeeper would have been carried into the net with the ball, but it remains 0-0. Real let-off here for the Algerians. Gitoun, ball played forward now and eventually put out of play. What a start that would have been. 18 here, Grant Kakana, sent off of course during AFCON in that 1-1 draw against Nigeria. South Africa's last 3 matches at AFCON were all penalty shootouts. They all ended in draws. Apollos this time loses the ball, needs help behind him. Now Mokoena going back to his goalkeeper. It's good confident start here from the visiting team. Their last international ahead of that match against Nigeria at the beginning of June. That is going to be crucial. And they've started well, have the South Africans. Ranked, of course, 59th in the world. They were 58th last week, and now in the latest rankings, after that loss against Dora, they've dropped to 59th, 10th on the continent. Algeria are 7th on the continent. But Algeria, their form in the last 2 AFCONs, having won it in 2019 when they had a magnificent tournament. They then had a shocking tournament in 2021, didn't win a game, were eliminated at the group stage, and history repeated itself this year. They didn't win a game either, lost to Mauritania. Here comes South Africa again. Apollos makes a good run into the box in the centre. He's not found. Instead, it's a tight angle from Mayambela, and he decides to go for goal himself and puts it over the bar. Really would have probably been better served from that angle to try and play the ball square. You're not going to beat a goalkeeper on his near post from there. But it has been a good start. At this stage, on Thursday night, South Africa were already behind against Dora, who'd scored only 3 goals in their previous 10 internationals. It looks as if South Africa are very, very much up for this. And the home side, who have been very, very good in friendlies. They haven't lost any of their last 11 friendlies, as we've said. Beat Bolivia 3-2. Had to come from behind in that game. Now the ball finding its way to Boneja in the box. But South African defence does the job nicely. Benzia also pushing up as well. And this is Aubrey Modiba. So the rain still falling gently here over the Nelson Mandela Stadium. If you're interested in the name of the stadium, why it's called the Nelson Mandela Stadium, there's a story behind that. The stadium was, incidentally, I think there's, just pause, I think the referee's got a problem with some of his equipment here. And he just offloads to the 4th official, who's from Algeria, interestingly enough. And it will be a free kick to South Africa. So the stadium was to be named after the former late coach Abdelhamid Kermani, who led them to AFCON success in 1990. But eventually they decided to name it after Nelson Mandela because of his close ties with the country. Mandela had very, very strong links with Algeria. And as a tribute to the South African people, and indeed to our great leader, it was decided to name the stadium the Nelson Mandela Stadium, which is a real good tribute. That's great work from Boneja. Releases the ball now into the centre of the park, finding Brahimi. But the pass goes wide and goes astray. They're going to have to recycle it down the left-hand side. And they do that rather nicely, do the Algerians. They've got a lot of experience in their squad, in their starting lineup. One debutant, incidentally, in defence, Madani, who's 32 years of age. He is making his debut tonight. Here, there he is on the ball, the number 27. And now space being created. Acres of space down this near side here for Benzia. If they can find him, the shot from range. And that, I think, might have been heading on target before it was intercepted by Boneja. And in the end, he helped the South Africans there because he put the ball wide of target. Boneja, incidentally, is a man who scored some very, very famous goals for Algeria. He scored all 3 of their goals at AFCON. And he scored that goal that gave them their last AFCON title in 2019 against Senegal in the final. You see here, he doesn't really need to touch that. It's a good enough shot from Amoura. And by touching it, he's just deflected the ball away from the goal. But Boneja, 30 goals in 68 internationals. So he scores almost once every 2 matches. He's a very, very good player. Also scored against Somalia in a World Cup qualifier recently. 18 here is Kekana. And very, very confident on the ball in these early exchanges. Kulu going to Kekana, and he looks at his options. They'll find the link men in midfield. What a difference as midfield looks with a man like Mokoena in there. And Monare helping him as well. Just looks a different team completely. But confident start. Nice to see South Africa playing in yellow. We're used to them playing in white. They played most of their AFCON matches in white. But Algeria have decided today they're going to use the white kit. And it's a very aesthetically pleasing kit that they are using today. This is lovely one-touch football. Now the ball making its way into the centre of the park to Modiba. This is nice play from the South Africans, spreading the ball wide. Apollo seeing a lot of the ball wide on this left-hand side. Battling with Ait Nouri on that side, and Gitun. But very, very confident in possession. Quite happy to go back into their own half to retain possession of the ball. And Hugo Broos, well, we wait for the saga of what will happen in his future. Is he going to still be in charge of Bafana Bafana when they make that trip to Nigeria? Time will tell. We're hearing all sorts of rumours about that. And that's a story still to develop. But South Africa could easily have been 1-0 ahead. Ashwin Apollos with a strike in the opening seconds of this game, so nearly putting his team ahead. Last week against Andorra, none of the starting lineup had scored for South Africa. And the man who made a really good impression in that game, Elias Mokwana, who sits on the bench today, he really did impress. So Monare on the ball, one of the only player, in fact, to survive in the starting lineup. South Africa attacking here. Let's just see what develops from this attack. Easy save for the goalkeeper Zegba in his 8th international. 10 minutes gone, OJ. Promising start for the South Africans. They look confident. 0-0.
Bafana basimolotse jaaka terena ya chuchumakala mo motshamekong fa o kile wa bona pitsi go gistse sengwe se se bogale ke ka mokgwa Afrika Borwa e simolotseng ka gone mme ga ke solofele gore ba ka rata go bona ba latlhegelwa mo lebalenga le le teiletseng fa morago ga tata go le thata Nelson Mandela ga ke rate ke tota ga ke bone ba ka rata go ka latlhegelwa mo lebaleng le a re bone jaaka ba sireletsa kwa morago Afrika Borwa a re bone Mrembula Teboho Mokoena ka bona la ka kwa Bethlehem ba tsa kgela tshamekela mo tseleng ya ga Igram ba ba tshamekela jaanong a re bone gore ba tla dira Afrika Borwa Mihlali Mayambela a ba kwa ba iaterela kwa morago abayaterla kwa morago Zegba awa iketla kwa morago Zegba bona ka matsa ba iketlileng ka wana la ka kwa bophirima jwa ka pa Western Cape go tswa ka ko le ka wana le la Mihlali Mayambela morarage tichere tuteke tswana le wena Mark Mayambela Matsheraganye ba phutula di atla re thore masana motshameko phepa o tswele pele ba ka jalo ba ba ipelaetsa naga ya Algeria ba ba ipelaetsa naga ya Nigeria the Desert Warriors jaaka ba itsege re bone jalo Maphosa o Primodiba re tloga ka yone bafana ba etsa phela ba romela kwa pele ga fetela ga jana motho ka Afrika Borwa na le tsogole le go dingwana mo motshamekong ba laola motshameko wa Afrika Borwa go fetela ga jana Niko Mobe ka bona ka kwa Malamulele kwa Giyani re bone Sianda Tlolo ba ba ntse ba solofetse gore ba ka tswele ba mona go ya kupele mo setlhopheng sa bafana fela o buile gone Sianda Tlolo le fa tsa bone na go ntse go setlhopheng sa Matsatsantsa Pretoria fela monna yo wa Hugo Bruce o na le tumelo o na le tshepo mo le ka wa la Sianda Tlolo bone ba retloga jalo ka kgile ko morago mona wa Auma yo dirang tiro kwa Italy kwa setlhopheng sa Roma tsa kgilebe ba motseleng ya ga Madani ba go leka go ya go tswa kwa morago the Desert Warriors ba iphitlhelang ba le maemo a bosoma mane le boraro 43 mo dipalopalong tsa FIFA naga ye ya Algeria mme Afrika Borwa ba iphitlhela ba le maemo a bosoma matlhano le borobedi ba leka go ya ga jaanong kgile wa re bone mo kapteini Ibrahim ba leka jalo go itharabologelwa jaanong setlhopha sa Algeria Afrika Borwa ba go tsiboga jang ba mo tseleng ya ga Ibrahim e betswa jalo ka Mshishi Thembo Zwane wa lebela Mshishi ba mo tseleng ya ga Oswin Egrab Reyners dira sentle kwa setlhopheng sa the Stylists go fitlhela ga jana dino di le supa mo leneng la gagwe monna yo dino di le supa mo leneng la gagwe ka kwa the DStv Premiership bona Mshishi Oswin Apollos o ikwala ka leina o kgona go mo lemoga gore o tsholeditse seatla a tle ba re lamle khona le nna ke teng gareng ga ba wa bitsa morena ke se se dirwang jalo ba tshwana le ba ba Oswin Apollos tira tiro ko setlhopheng sa Rise and Shine go ka ile jalo phoso kgatlhanong jalo le naga ya Algeria ba ba go dira le bota kwa morago le bota la tshepe mo setshwanong sa nama mme go ya jalo monna yo re itseng gore o tla direng fa mo dikgwedi tse di tshwanang le tse Teboho Mokoena go romelwa ene Teboho Mokoena mo kgweding ye wa etse gore o dirile mo nakong e fetileng mo dikgweding tse di tshwanang le tse raga fela jaaka tlhompho ke kana ana raga mo setlhopheng se nebile o tla go phala gore tlhompho ke kana no ya gagwe ne a tlhophiwa jaaka dilo dingwe dino tse di gaisana jalo mo se se ditsege jaaka the Pushkas Awards a re bone kgileo a re bone Qileo a ka goga lerumo a ka phatlalatsa le morago la setlhopha se se Algeria go ka feta jalo mosumo o emela kwa morago o na le maphosa le na le dithago tse di bokete mme maphosa ke tekena o tla go etsosang go kgakalanya a ba goga ba re goal kick na go gile mrembo la Qileo le kwa ntle le kgakala bona ka bokgoleng kgakala ka gone fela wa itse gore o dirang fa dira fa tsa Qileo re le ka re ba go utlwa fela ka nna le morago le a ka le phatlalatsa a re bone Qileo ba tswa jalo ka ne ka botlhaba jalo bala le ka go tlhatsela go kwa pele fela mona ba motsekelo toko morago mo tsereganya re ga kitla se bona fa tla se bona kwa Afrika Borwa le tla se bona kwa Afrika Borwa e seng fa ga la tshameka sentle le ka bona la Amora agete ke Nico Mobi gontse fela jalo Nico Mobi ona khorometsa jalo le ka bona le la Amora Qileo ya go tlhomiwa e tlisiwa jalo ke naga ya Algeria ya go tlhomiwa Qileo Afrika Borwa ba go dira le bota jaaka bona mokapteini wa bone Ronald Williams ka bona le goletseng jalo le belegetse jalo ka kwa Qebega mme ka nako eo e ne le Port Elizabeth pele ga e ne nna Qebega o tswa ko le ka bona le tswa ko le mopresidente wa one mokgatlho wa kgwele ya dinao wa Afrika Borwa bangwe ba ba tswang ka ko Afrika Borwa ba dirile le bota kwa morago Themba Zwane ile na le kwa pele ga bone fela re bona Qileo o itse gore tlhopha tsa bokone jwa Afrika ba kotsi thata ka dikgwele tse di tshwanang le tse ba go batla jalo Boneja ba go batla tlhogo ya ga Boneja ba batla ba romela thula ka tlhogo kwa morago moshishi sekhutla a ba thula ka tlhogo ga go tlaeletsega gore be fela kgona go molemoga gore na sa solo fela Qileo Themba Zwane ka wana la ka kwa Ekuruleni khana go lemoga gore ga lemoga Qileo tswa kwa botlhaba jwa Johannesburg mme Qileo ba tlhomile jalo ke Ibrahimi mona dira ntiro ka kwa Qatar a bona tsa Qileo ba etsa ba romela tsela ka ba go sola le tena ba tlola ya tarela a ba retloga ka ne ka botlhale Ronald Williams ke mo tla le bana gore fana goroga mo tlhopheng sa bosetšhaba kgatlhano le naga ya Brazil a re ba mo gorosa ka dino di ka nna tlhano mo metsotseng e le somamane le botlhano le ka bona Ronald Williams mme seo se ka sa mo diga maatla se ka sa mo diga mowa a tsholetsa tlhogo gompieno ke mokapteini wa setlhopha go mo le mo Grand Keka o e ba jalo mo tseleng ya ga Igram Rainers ke rata ka mokgwa tabogang kwa gone kwa pele monna yo a re bone kgone ba tla dirang ka yona Afrika Borwa Thaba Monare ba re wa romela fela ba etsintse loto ba go tswa ka lebelo jaanong a re bone ba tlhasela Afrika Borwa jang fela ba kgona go retologela kwa morago mo Afrika Borwa bana ba ka nna ba tlhano jaanong fa morago ga kgwele Apollos motsere ga jara ga go sepe se se diragetseng fao a re bone jaanong Afrika Borwa o mshishi Themba Zwane wa go ba ralala Themba ka se dumele gore o fetile ngwaga di le 30 le ka bona le moshishi Zwane a re bone o tla dira ka gwane Modiba a ka goga leruma a ba goga go godimo ga dikota ka godimo ga dikota ga ke etse Afrika Borwa tshameko wa bone go bua nnete ya itumedisa go fitlhela ga jaana go tloga fela kwa metshamekong ya AFCON go fitlhela ga jaana motho a ka re go sengwe se motho a se bonang go na le tlhase ba go e tlosa kwa morago ga re bone jalo Madani tshamekela mo tseleng ya ga Zerba o ratla simolole Qileo kwa morago tshamekela fa ntle ga lebaka o tswela ditene Giton wa ipotsa gore a tse Qileo a ise kae Boneja fela Afrika Borwa ba kgona go tsenya Qileo loto ba ba tswa ka yone ka lebelo ka morago Afrika Borwa a re bone jalo ba yambela wa go tswa ka lebelo a ba tsa Qileo a tshamekela jalo mo tseleng ka kwa thoko ba ba e romela mo le ba go tswela ditene fela ba ya terela kwa morago le ka bona la Zerba a ba iatla laser ba Afrika Borwa ne bolotsa tlhatselo engwe fela ba tlhoka lesego Afrika Borwa mo kgwedinya monna ba mo kgopakgopetsa botsereganya ba a itlhomiwe monna ka Tunisia a re le kgopakgopetsa jalo le ka bona lama Ayete Nori yo dirang tiro kwa ndikenya manyesemane kwa England monna yo wa Ayete Nori metsotso le soma mabedi e setse fitile noto Algeria not Afrika Borwa they started like a house on fire.
Absolutely they did, OJ. It's been a cracking start from the visiting team. They've had the best chances. Oshwin Apollos has hit the bar very, very early on. They had that free kick from Mokoena, which I thought the goalkeeper just fingertipped over the bar, but the referee didn't agree. They've had that shot from Modiba from range. And what's also interesting in the Bafana setup is the balls that are being played out of defence, those long balls, and they've got willing runners in Reyners and in Apollos to pick up those balls upfield, so they can actually bypass the midfield a lot. This is the captain Brahimi doing some good work for Algeria. Williams needs to react. That's a great bit of goalkeeping. He had to come out and he blocked the shot because Algeria were in really for the first time that they'd got in behind the defence. That man number 18 Amoura got in there nicely, and it was excellent goalkeeping by Williams. Brilliant awareness to come and narrow the angle, because otherwise it would have been a tap-in. But now the game's starting to be stretched. Here's Brahimi again, setting it up for the shot to come in. Potentially it's a brilliant goal. That is a brilliant goal from Yassine Benzia. Only his third goal for his country in his sixth international. And that time South Africa losing the ball going forward. And a very, very quick counter-attack. And Benzia, the man who plays in Azerbaijan for Karabakh, the 29-year-old, finds the net after 22 minutes. And South Africa have conceded only twice in their last 7 internationals. Concede here to Yassine Benzia, who also incidentally scored the middle goal against Bolivia last week. It's a very swift counter-attack set up by the captain, Brahimi. And the defence stands off a little bit. They don't go for the ball. They give him space. You can see here Grant Kekana just standing off Mokoena as well. And it's a left-footed shot into the bottom corner that Williams can't save this time. Very good finish. And Algeria leading here by 1-0 midway through the first half. In fact, it goes through the legs of Grant Kekana. And for new coach Petkovic, he'll be delighted with that. A second goal in as many internationals for Benzia. And it's Algeria who have not started the better, but they find themselves ahead on 22 minutes. And for coach Hugo Broos, well, his side could have been 1-0 up so early on. Wasn't to be. And now they have to come out and chase the game as they had to against Andorra last week. I can tell you at half-time in their last 6 internationals, the scores have been level with Bafana. So if that continues into match number 7, South Africa will find a goal. And they've actually played some very good football. They don't really deserve to be behind. 2 bits of swift counter-attacking from the Algerians, one in which Ronwen Williams came out and made a brilliant save. But then, after possession was lost upfield, it was oh too easy for the goalscorer. Now, how do South Africa respond to this? This is Mobi, wide on that far side. They need some movement in the box. The Algerians strong here on the ball and just about able to clear it in a dangerous position. The captain Brahimi, 68th international for him today and 68th appearance, and he's done some very good work. It was his assist to set up the goal. Now Gitun moving it forward. Relatively inexperienced at this level. Well cut out. Ball kept in play, I think, just. No, it wasn't. By Modiba. And Hugo Broos wears a wry grin on his face. Well, it's difficult to tell from that angle. The linesman says the ball was out. Hugo Broos doesn't like the decision. Man who won many plaudits in his days playing for Belgium. They ended 4th in the World Cup in Mexico in 1986. In all, he earned 24 caps for his country in his playing days, which are long since past. Bentaleb getting a bit of a talking to here from the referee. Man who plays in Lille in France. He's born in Lille in France. He's been playing for the international team since he was 19 years of age. In 2014 made his debut, also played at the World Cup in 2014 for Algeria. They now go long, looking for the head of Buneja. He wins it in the air. South African defence needs to be careful. Suddenly there's a bit of space, and this is Mandi trying to get in. Good defending this time. And the ball put out of play, but Gitun, with ball in hand, looks for a teammate to throw to. There's not enough urgency there from the South African defence, and now the ball into the centre, needs to be set up. Lovely shot with the outside of the boot, just over the bar. Excellent effort from Amura, man who plays for Union Saint-Gilloise in Belgium, the home country, of course, of Hugo Broos. And Amura looking to curl that into the top corner. His balance was a little bit wrong, but look at the space they've got here. And he tries the shot from the edge of the 18-yard box. Nice effort. It would have been a fantastic goal had he found the net there. Just unable to do so. So Algeria starting to get into the game and starting to create chances. And Bafana, who was certainly on top for the first 20 minutes, they didn't take advantage of that situation. They didn't find the net, and now they find themselves chasing the game. But there's plenty to suggest there's a lot of reward for South Africa going forward if they continue with these tactics. Yes, Kekana, Modiba, or rather Apollos, beg your pardon, into the centre. And space being created. Referee saw a foul committed there. The referee from Tunisia, of course, a neighbouring country of Algeria. Interesting that he should be given the game. And the foul here on Ikram Reyners means a free kick, which South Africa have taken quickly. Apollos looks at his options, tries to thread that through the eye of the needle. Unsurprisingly, it's cut out. Gitun playing it forward for Algeria. Well controlled in the centre. But now a bit of space. Ait Nouri, man from Wolverhampton Wanderers, went on loan at Wolves in 2020. The deal was made permanent in 2021 for 9.8 million GBP. And is on a 5-year contract at Wolves, who were recently knocked out of the FA Cup in the quarter-finals by Coventry City of the Championship, in a huge upset. Algeria just looking to build again down this left-hand side. They've got men in the box, and the cross is blocked, but at the expense of a corner. And it just signs now that the home side is starting to find their range, starting to find their opportunities in this game. An Algerian side who did very, very well when they hosted the Chan tournament at the beginning of 2023. They didn't concede a single goal in that entire tournament. Played 6 matches. And I beg your pardon, they didn't win the tournament. They got to the final. They lost on penalties to Senegal in that final, but did particularly well, winning all their group matches 1-0 against Libya, Ethiopia and Mozambique. Beat Cote d'Ivoire in the quarterfinals 1-0. Beat Niger 5-0 in the semi-finals. And then lost on penalties 5-4 to Senegal in the final after it ended 0-0 after extra time. So Algeria have hosted some big tournaments. Of course, won the AFCON in 1990, which they hosted when they beat Nigeria in that final. Now they look to go route 1 this time. Easy for Ronwin Williams. But this man is a real handful, Buneja. As I say, he scored all 3 of his team's goals at AFCON. In the 1-1 draw against Angola, he scored after 18 minutes, scored both goals against Burkina Faso. The second of those in the 95th minute to earn his side a draw, but then they lost to Mauritania 1-0 and were eliminated from that particular tournament. They've won World Cup qualifiers against Somalia and Mozambique as well, and they sit top of Group G on 6 points. Guinea at home and Uganda away are their next 2 fixtures, both in June, while South Africa will be travelling to Nigeria and hosting Zimbabwe. Modiba, Kekana, just slowing it down to walking pace, trying to draw the Algerians out. You can see when the ball does move on the surface that it does leave a trail of water. And that's a nice pass from Mokoena, trying to set up an attack. Apollos brought to ground. I think the Algerians are starting to realise that Apollos, even for his 22 years, is a real handful. He's got a lot of pace, and they need to stop him every which way. So nearly at his first international goal today, early on. In fact, should have done so. Here's Kekana, Modiba, those two doing very, very nicely in combination. All played out wide. Suane coming back just to help out. Now Mokoena sending it wide to Mobi on that far side. Needs some control, does well to keep the ball in play. fact, he didn't keep the ball in play. The linesman on that far side judging that he was out of play when he headed the ball down. But this is some neat skill here from Modiba. Very nicely, just waltzes past Amoura. And Algeria will clear their lines again. So plenty of promise. I think there are more goals in this game as things stand at the moment. Reyna's doing some good work to come back and win the ball, and now that should be a free kick. And the referee might choose to take some action here against the Algerian player. Bounedjah talking to him sternly. But with that goal, OJ, I suppose the game is nice and open, and it means South Africa have to come out and chase. I think we're about to see the first yellow card of the game.
Karata yanka esurona ya tsoetsola jalo mona wana ka ya Algeria awa yodirantiro jalo kuama stopensa Roma kakwa Italy kena mkalan karata esurona me Afrika borwa le fa ba tsebale kwa morago ka nwele no sefele go lefela fela ba tsweletse go kaleka go tlhasela Afrika borwa re bona etsi ya nakolo tsamekela motseleng ya gangwana ga uspinke magwe o dira kwa parlamenteng ya Afrika borwa pinke kekana re bone gore kgwele ba tla dirang ka yone bea go tswela ka kwa ntle go kaiwa jalo gore a ye go akgela jalo ke the Desert Warriors ba itumelela second tengwe le nngwe motsotso mongwe le mongwe ba ratile ba latedi ba kgwela dinabo ba tlileng ka kwano jaaka kgwele ya go tloswa le tatlhelo ya kgiwa jalo ke Nore Ait Nore bea go tswela ka kwa ntle la go pola gore tla re fela ka mo letsatsing la kamoso batshameki ba ba solofetse go ka boela jalo kwa dinageng tsa bone kgotsa kwa ditlhopheng se ba tshamekang kwa go tsone solofelo ke gore ba Sundowns ka gongwe tla totobaletswa se gore ba tla leba ka tlhamalalo kwa Tanzania kwa setlhopha sa Sundowns ka la matlhatso re bo lebele ba tla ba thulane le setlhopha sa Young Africans a re bone kgone e tla nang kotsi fela mo ba sireletsa kwa morago tla bo ba tshameka motshameko wa Champions League Mamelodi Sundowns kgatlhana le setlhopha sa Young Africans mo mafelong a wa beke go pola gore ke lekgato la ntlha la metshameko ya di-quarter final tsa kgaisano eo ka motsamo iketlile maphosa a ne a tsena ka lebakotso la 18 fela ba kgona go sireletsa kwa morago ba go tswa jaanong ba pumpunyega ka lebelo banna ba naga ya Algeria fela Afrika borwa ba kgona go karatologela kwa morago ba ba senya kgwele kopana le Teboho Total Grand Mihlale Apollos yo tletseng le lebala Thaba Monare se molotse kwa setlhopheng sa Gamchomane kwa Jomo Cosmos ya ratswa kwa le ba kwa setlhopheng sa the Clever Boys sa Feds go tsweng 4 a bona jalo ke setlhopha sa Orlando Pirates ratologa jalo ka ene kwa morago kgile ratologa jalo ka ua baleka go ya ga the Desert Warriors fela Afrika borwa ba pateletsa gore ba busetse jalo mo tseleng ya ga ba kwa morago na se gone mo motshamekong kgatlhano le Bolivia fela mo letsatsing la gompieno boetse jalo mo dikoteng mo nayo wa Zekwa kgwele ratologa jalo ka Mandi a bone Ibrahimi ba mo tsela kgwele Afrika borwa ba go dirang ka kgwele bona msheshi a ba etsa ke tsa pele ke a kwala kgwele a katsi Etana manga ono si fela yo ta dirang seo Tshepo ya Afrika borwa fela jaaka leina la gagwe le kaya Themba ono sa no ya ntlha ya Afrika borwa le kalekanya dino mshishi Themba Zwane Afrika borwa ke gore le kare ba ene le tsara bontle kgwele meseo kwa bofelong jwa letsatsi sa ba ngwela bona ga motsabo iketlilenga Ikram a ba motseleng ya ka Themba Zwane a bona mona kwa thoko wa Mihlale Themba Zwane a feleletsa tiro e simolutseng a feleletsa tiro e simolutseng ya lekalekana jaanong wana Afrika borwa wana ya Algeria wan Bafana bona boitumelo mo bankeng ya setlhopha sa Afrika borwa jaanong o tlile go gotela le go feta motshameko o tlile go gotela le go feta lebelo le ntse re le bona ke a solofela jaanong le tlile go tlhatloga le go feta stofo se tswa mo go 6 se ya jaanong kwa go 10 ba leka go bua le yone ba leka go isebela go tswa kwa morago the Desert Warriors ga go lemoga ba tshameki ba Afrika Borwa ba eme ka ditsetsekwane ba ba emetse nako go lengwe fa ba goroga go sireletsa seo a re bone jalo mandi o e ba jalo mo godimo ga mpa ya lebala ba tla jalo mona wa Bentaleb fela ba isimolla gape kwa morago mo tseleng ya ga mandi yo dirang tiro kwa setlhopheng sa Villarreal kwa England mme ebile a nositse kgatlhanong jalo le naga ya Bolivia fa ba ne ba fenya motshameko wa bone o fetileng ka dino di le 3 go di le 2 fa ba ne ba fenya ka dino di le 3 go di le 2 o nositse mo motshamekong yo mona yo wa mandi Bentaleb o isimolla mo tseleng ya ga mandi ba romela kgwele e telele ko pele tsetse ka kwa ntle a gona mme o rile kgwele o tsetse ka kwa ntle o e tsere ka kwa ntle wena Amura o na le ka go ithula ka tlhogo fela motseleganyo ka gore a kgela kgwele ya wena Sydney Papi Nyukomobi kila nna mo dibukeng tsa Mamelodi Sundowns kila feta kwa Stelis ga jaana o ka kwa bapinano ko bona jaanong Penoja e tla nna kotsi fa fela ba le gone kwa morago Afrika Borwa stop nonsense ba ba le gone kwa morago ba sireletsa Afrika Borwa ba ba mo tseleng ya ga mshishi simolla jalo kwa morago go tlosa botlhoko maAfrika Borwa ga ba kitla ba itumela gore go lebella ke teo dingwaga tsa ka Themba Zwane o ka di busetsa kwa morago a ke temo ta ka di busetsa kwa morago go senene me fela o bontshitse go fitlhela ga jaana gore ba kgonne bontsi jwa batshameki go fitlhela kwa dingwageng di le 40 John Schuss Musweu a mo go tswela go robala ka kagiso kgonne go tshameka kgwele ya professional go fitlhela a tshwara ngwaga di le 40 Siabonga Phela Mvete le ene o dirile fela jalo ke mongwe wa batshameki ba ba kgonne go fitlha mo dingwageng di le 40 ba tsweletse go dira tiro mo kgweleng ya professional Themba Zwane a ka dira feleletsa a dirile seo a re bone jalo le ka bona la Gitot yo dirang tiro kwa fora kwa setlhopheng sa Mets Bentaleb ba ya kwa pele ba ba etsa ba itlhabela kwa pele a re bona Afrika Borwa ba go tsiboga jang kgwele ta bogela jalo ke Amura a ba romela malebaka zola le tene fela ba kgona go sireletsa ga ba isireletse sentle fela Nyukomobi ba tsa kgweleo a ba re wetsinga loto kgona go etsinga loto be tswa jalo gape ka Brahimi ba tsena ka lebaka zola le tene Afrika Borwa ba mangatana kotsi mo tsereganya rebelela ga ngwana wena Bentaleb le go para jalo le Apollos go ba mo tseleng ya ga Themba Zwane Themba Tshepo Hope a re bona o tla dirang ka kgweleo e tshamekela mo go maphosa oh Mihlali ba ba ilatlhegelo Afrika Borwa ba ba ilatlhegelo Afrika Borwa ba tla tšhalwa penalty fela motseleganyo wa go ntsha karata ya go amogelwa ke Kgomolemo wa go amogela karata e serolwana e le karata ya bobedi ya motshameko ya ntlha ya Afrika Borwa Kgomolemo Gran Kekana wa amogela jalo karata e serolwana motshameki wa maloba setlhopha sa Amatax motshameketse Amatax pele ga na le bakoko matsatsantseng a Pretoria mme o tshamekela Sundowns ga jaana o tla kgona go lemoga gore ke motshameki yo o tshamekile kgwele ya dinao mo toropong e le nosi fela ka kwa motsemošate wa Republic ya Afrika Borwa ka kwa the Jacaranda City tabeng tsa ba Mamogale jaaka itsege Tshwane ba isimolla jalo kwa morago ba jalo mo tseleng ya ga Matani senyaloto Afrika Borwa fela ba kgona go tswa gape ka yone kgwele wa Algeria a ntse ba kokota go ya kwa pele ba batla tsela go ya kwa pele fela Afrika Borwa e tswadile tsela a batla phunyeletsa fa a ba ka sekotlo Sydney Mobe ya go tloswa jalo ke mokapteine Ibrahimi ya go tloswa jalo ke mokapotene Brahim Khilio tshameka le khutshwanyane a ba romela tsela ka bokosela deteni ba tlile go tlhagisa kotsi Afrika Borwa mo kgeleng yao ya go tswela ka kwantle fetoga jalo bona tatlhelo ya Bafana ya go tloswa le tatlhelo ya Bafana re tsamaile metsotso e le somamane metsotso e le metlhano ya bofelo ya karolo ya ntlha kwa re yang gone go gaufi thata kwa re tswang gone go kgakala. Michael,
brilliant team goal by the South Africans. They're really, at the time when Algeria was starting to get on top of the game, it was excellently done. Zwane involved in the build-up as well. Mayambela will be credited with the assist, but Zwane's goal, the first time he scored for the national team since Namibia, that 4-0 win at the beginning of AFCON, when he scored twice in 15 minutes. He's now got 10 goals for the national team. Today is his 45th appearance, and there he is, Mshishi, doing the business here with an outstanding goal, and they're working hard as well to protect the ball. And he joins an illustrious list of names: Mark Fish, John Shoes Mushweyu, Sean Bartlett and Tuso Pala as the only 4 other South Africans who've scored against Algeria in 4 previous meetings. Fish and Mushweyu did it, of course, way back in 1996 in South Africa in the quarterfinals of AFCON. John Shoes Mushweyu, of course, no longer with us. Sean Bartlett in February 2000 in a 1-1 draw at the AFCON group stage in Kumasi. And then Tuso Pala against Algeria in a 3-1 loss in January 2015 at the group stage of AFCON. They also drew 0-0 in a friendly between that. Mobi saying to the referee, don't take action against me here. The referee might take other views as Boneja is the man taken to ground. And just 3 minutes before half-time, I did say to you when Algeria scored that South Africa have been level at half-time in their last 6 internationals. So it's hardly surprising that South Africa have levelled matters. It's not the mentalist in me. It's just what's been happening in the past. I can tell you also, South Africa have now broken their pattern with that goal, because listen to this. How astonishing is this? First game of AFCON, they didn't score. They lost to Mali. They scored in the second game. Didn't score in the third. I'll break off as Amura takes the side forward. Good defending by the South Africans. So, failed to score in their first match, scored in their second, didn't score in their third, scored in their fourth, didn't score in their fifth, scored in their sixth, didn't score in their seventh, and then scored last week. So if you continue with that pattern of them scoring in every second game, they should not be scoring tonight. But Temba Zwane has broken that pattern. So they've scored back-to-back effectively for the first time since way back in 2023. So that's something they've got off their back. Grant Kekana in the book today for South Africa. As I say, got sent off in that match against Nigeria at AFCON. One of the hard men in the South African side. Nakulu at the back, looking for options. Sent it across the park. Modiba, who's had a very good first half, finds himself free on this near side. Apollos should have been on the score sheet. Kekana just knocking it about to his goalkeeper, who conceded today. The 46th goal he's conceded, Ronwen Williams, in his 44th international. He concedes on average just over a goal a game. And the atmosphere here is electric, even in the rain over the capital of Algiers. The largest country in Africa. The largest country in Africa used to be Sudan. And then Sudan in 2011 split into Sudan and South Sudan, which is now the newest country in the world. That was in 2011, and that meant that Algeria took over as the biggest country in Africa. And the fans with their cell phones and the torches on as well, creating a fantastic atmosphere in the stadium. Real friendly environment between South Africa and Algeria, even though it's competitive on the field. And they're certainly enjoying themselves in this friendly international. Algeria, incidentally, only 1 win in their last 4 matches since. There we see just an incident off the ball here. Not really sure what happened there. Oshwin Apollos wanting to take the ball forward. Not sure if it was something thrown from the stands. Really bizarre incident here, and there'll be some time added on as a result. It didn't seem as if any of the South African players touched the Algerian. And Coach Petkovic just considering options. Only 2 minutes to be added on, but of course there'll be a bit more time than that because of the stoppage here. And they're all just arguing the case with each other here. Let's see if we can see what happened. Well, this is the goal. It's beautifully struck by Yasin Benzia, the 29-year-old from Karabakh in Azerbaijan. His third goal in his 6th international. This is South Africa's reply. Brilliant goal. Temba Zwane had to put it in because Reyners was offside. So if the ball had reached Reyners, the flag would have gone up. But Zwane was onside, and he was able to finish it. I must say, this is absolutely bizarre. Don't know what the incident is and what's going on, but we'll wait and see. I think it might have been an object thrown from the stands. And if so, that's particularly unfortunate. Just a little bit of ice and some medicinal equipment being provided to the player. Plenty of support for the Palestinians, of course, in Algeria, as we're in the 2nd minute of stoppage time, but there'll be a bit of time added on as well. And those young Algerian fans will be enjoying the football that they've seen so far. It certainly has been a much more pulsating game than the game we saw last week. Now have a look at this again. Oh, he runs. I think he collides with the referee initially, but surely not enough to get a head wound. Mandi is the man, Aissa Mandi. There in your picture, but this is a very strange incident. The man, in fact, who was receiving the attention was Amoura, man from Union Saint-Gilloise. And he's going to go off and just make sure that he's all right. They've got to do concussion checks on him as well. And time will be added on. So we're in stoppage time at the end of the first half. So Algeria, since losing in a friendly international in November 2022 against Sweden, they went 19 matches unbeaten until losing to Mauritania at AFCON in their 3rd group match. So that, in fact, is their only loss since the start of 2023. Quite an incredible record that they have. Amoura is going to come back on shortly. He's got to go off the field for 30 seconds because he did receive treatment on the field. So that's the new rule. You've got to go off for 30 seconds. But now South Africa looking to grab another goal late in the piece. With just a little bit of time to be added on for that stoppage for the injury to Amoura, who looks to be okay now. And I think he'll be glad that half-time is imminent, because then he can receive the attention that he needs. 29 is Bentaleb, 51st international for him today. Bentaleb, he earned his 50th cap for his country last week against Bolivia. Bit of sloppiness at the back. South Africa win the ball back. Can they capitalize here? They've got yellow shirts all over the park. Just needs to try and find a free man. It's reached Modiba, but it's over his head. He's going to have to work to keep the ball alive, which he does well to recycle possession. Kekana picking it up again, and South Africa will go again. Mokoena, Apollos. Well, they've rather wasted an opportunity. They've gone backwards in coming forwards. Modiba again, slowing things down. I think the referee might well blow his half-time whistles very, very soon. And for the 7th match in a row, South Africa will go in at half-time level, which is quite an amazing achievement. The last time they were not level at half-time was that game against Namibia when they went in 3-0 up at half-time. Since then, they've been level at half-time against Tunisia, Morocco, Cape Verde, Nigeria, DRC, and last week against Andorra. So just seconds remaining here. It's been a very good first half. It's been played at a nice pace despite the weather conditions. South Africa win the ball back again. Can Bafana do something late in the piece here to try and find the net as they clip it forward? Now they need men in the box. Their men arriving in the box. The angle's tight. Oh, it's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. When he scores one, he scores two. He did it against Namibia. He's done it again. 15 minutes apart against Namibia. 15 minutes apart today. What a goal for Themba Mshishi Zwane. And Mandela will look down. The spirit of Mandela will look down on this man. South Africa are not going to go in at half-time level. They're going to go in at half-time ahead. Time to shine the boots. What a goal this is. You would have given him no chance of scoring from this angle. How brilliant is this? Cuts inside, tightest of tight angles, off the underside of the crossbar and in. Brilliant, brilliant finish. Zwane's now got 11 goals for his country in his 45th international. He scores with the right boot, he scores with the left boot. He doesn't stop scoring once he's on a run. That is an amazing goal. And the bench celebrating it in big numbers. There's barely time to kick off now. Well, that goal coming effectively in the 49th minute. His first goal came in the 34th, so 15 minutes apart. Exactly the same distance against Namibia when he scored in the 25th and 40th minutes, 15 minutes apart. Talk about history repeating itself. It's astonishing. South Africa lead 2-1, and for the second week in a row, Algeria will have to come from a 2-1 deficit if they can. They did it last week against Bolivia. They're going to have to do it again. How much more stoppage time is this referee going to add on? But I think South Africa will be grateful for the fact that there is stoppage time, because it really has been a half punctuated by some excellent goals. A brilliant finish by Benzia on 22 minutes. A superb team goal scored by Zwane in the end. And then the most astonishing of finishes from the tightest of angles with his left boot, curling it into the goal, past goalkeeper Zogba. And unless Algeria can score again, South Africa for the first time in 7 games will go in at half-time ahead. The whistle sounds. What an ending to an incredible first half. Bafana, well, they were criticised for their performance last week with effectively their B team. You can't criticise their performance today. They have been magnificent in this first half. And they lead through Zwane's goals on 33 and 48 minutes to Benzia's reply. 2-1 to Bafana at half-time in the rain, but nobody's getting wet.
Amabudula jalo phala ya gago ka tshimologo ya metsotso sumamane le botlhano ya bofelo. Afrika Borwa e tla tsetsepela kgotsa Algeria ba tla fetola maemo jaaka ntse ga jana. Seo re tla se bona go tloga jaanong go fitlhelela kgatijana fale. Re bone ba ba retola ga batla ba dira phoso fela kgwele ya go retola ga jalo kwa morago ka Sianda Tlulu ba ija ka serete ba batla jalo Themba fela ba le gone mo nna sa tswa go tsena go tswa kwa Bankenga le ka bona la Kendoshi Ahmed Semolla go ba rotloetsa batshameki ba balatedi baagi ba naga ya Algeria. Semolla go rotloetsa batshameki gore are ba we semolola ba e tshamekela jalo mo tseleng ya ga Madani romela jalo mo tseleng ya Ibrahim mo kapteini wa bone. Arbone gore ba tla dirang go tswa kwa morago fela Afrika Borwa ba ba metse kwa morago ba eme kwa morago Afrika Borwa kgona go lema gore ke ditalo tse di tswang jalo kwa Bankenga ya kwa dressing room. Maphosa ba dikologa jalo Maphosa ka kgwele ba gopola mokgwa gore ke leng ka gone mo kgweleng ya dinao ya professional le ka bona le la Maphosa me mona mongo tsileng ke Bentaleb ka gopola gore na bona jalo mo khaisano ya Nedbank leka wana le la maposa khile ba itsabe ba mo ba tsala le tene ha bona Afrika Borwa ba go tsibuga ja mo khilinyeo fela ba khona go tsika lo Afrika Borwa ba tsa khile ba rumela kwa pele e re tloga ka tempo zwali ha ba tsa khile mshishi ho ba tla jalo mayambela ha bona jalo mihlali o tswa ka lebelo le ba kana jalo le morago la setlhopha sa Algeria ha ba tsa khile ba mo tsela ja ka mshishi Apollos ba ba tla jalo no ya moraro Afrika Borwa fela ba ba mo tsika lo kwa morago Apollos matsara ga khile intse kwa na Apollos Jean Kharitsi fela motsamo iketlileng ka gongwe o tla re bontsha gore ba re khweleng tshitse jalo ke Apollos kete ba re o ikhomile la bofelo a re bona re ba go dirang ka kgwele go tswa ko morago the Desert Warriors ai ba mo tseleng ya ga Madani aba tla jala le kawan la Mandi wale bela Mandi fitileng khatang le jala na kaya Bolivia magara gampa bosigo ma Afrika Borwa ga gona o batlang go robala o batla go nna paki Borwa ebele paki ya seo gore o bone le ene ka leitlho la gagwe fela re bone naga ya Algeria ba ba romela kgwele tlana kotse Afrika Borwa mo mga tlananga ga go pe o batlang go robala Afrika Borwa ba isimolola kwa morago mo kapteini Ronald Williams bona jaaka e tshameka ka botlhale mo tseleng ya ga Sydney Mobi Themba Zwane a re bone jalo Mihlali Mayambela o a ya kwa pele o batla phatla Mahlali Mayambela a ba e tshameka 1-2 fela ba sireletsa kwa morago e ntse le mo karolong ya kotsi a ka goga Afrika Borwa fa fela a re bone Sydney Mobi Themba Zwane a ka ba dirisa diphoso fela ba kgona go mo tseela kgwele Brahimi wa ba rwala Brahimi jaaka mo kapteini a ka dira a re bone mo kapteini o tla dirang Brahimi a ba tsa kgwele le romela kwa pele o nile le sego fana e tshwere kgweleo folagane ya go tsholediwa a o e tlosa Afrika Borwa ne le karolo 0-2 ne le karolo ya metshameko ya AFCON a re bone Afrika Borwa kgwele e kopana jalo ba e romela mo tseleng ya ga Mihlali Afrika Borwa ba go ya ga mo tseleng ya ga Apollos tshamekela jalo mo tseleng ya ga Maphosa o bona Apollos ba go tsena ka le ba go tsena di-18 motho kwa ntle le pelelo o nile le tshameko e ntle le ka bona le la Apollos o nile le tshameko e ntle moshimane wa Apollos a fetlela ga jala motho a ka mora a re a ga mo ita a mo phaphatha le sigara phuti gore o dirile mosimo wa itse go fetlela ga jala ga a swabisa go molemo Maphosa Apollos Themba Zwane tshepo ya Afrika Borwa wa go goga yana a ba goga ba go timo ka dikota ga batle go bona motshwaradino fa pele ga gage ga batle go bona letlogo fa pele ga gage mme fa selo se se tona se o tla se dira ke go mulela phatla fa o tla mulela phatla o tla go tlhagisetsa kotsi e se kana ka sepe le ka wana le la ka kwa botlhaba jo bo tseneletseng jwa province ya Freistata ka kwa Bethlehem simolla kwa morago le ka wana la Madani tshamekela jalo mo moneng wa kwa setlhopheng sa Villarreal a ba mo tseleng ya ga Brahimi romela Brahimi fela Apollos a ba tsenya lotho ka botlhale kwa morago ba bisetsa kwa morago Debo ba monna fa fatshe mo tsereganyi tikita tlhogo a re la tshameka sentle Thaba Monare gala tshameka sentle Thaba Monare kgwele ba go e tlhoma Afrika Borwa ba e tlosa jalo kwa morago re tloga jalo ka go molemo Ronald Williams oh Ronald Williams a va dira poso. Ronald Williams o dirile poso. Tabuni lekalekana. Moraga go dira bontletso bo kana. Ronald Williams a tshameka kgwele gore go sa tshwanela kwa morago ba mo tlhaya. Tshameko e ke buile le mo malobeng ya go tswa mo dikoteng go tshameka kgwele jaaka e tshameka Ronald Williams go eleletsana fa o kopana batshameki ba bo majato batshameki ba ba lebelo ba go tlhaya mo kgweleng eo bona ga botsa ba iketlileng Brahimi go lekaleka dino Brahimi moraga gore Ronald Williams a dire phoso tla ikotlela seo Ronwen senya bontle jotlhe jo a bo dirileng tshireletso tsa dirile mo karolong ya ntlha ba tlhasela gape ba romela kwa pele betsela ka kwa ntle kgweleo ga ke tla bona boroko Ronald Williams ba Afrika Borwa e ka latlhegela mo motshamekong mme motho a kare fa Afrika Borwa e nile ba ipolai ba ba sa lelelweng segolo thata jaaka ena mo kapteine tshwanetse ka ba dirile botoka go feta go dira jaaka mo kapteine a tshwanetse go dira a e busetsa mo go ene gape Brahimi o lekalekantse dino to Algeria dilepedi Afrika Borwa Sianda Tlolo a ba romela kwa pele ba palama mona mo mokwatleng madiraganya ka phoso bona Afrika Borwa gape semola jaanong go latlhega Afrika Borwa semola go nna mo lefifing jaanong re mo gare ga mpa ya lesika bosigo re mo gare ga re mo bosigo ga reng ba romela ba yatlela Ronald Williams semola kete ba tsena ka naga semola dipone di simolola go tima Afrika Borwa fela ba tshwanetse go ka ipaakanya go iphopotha le go emelela go tlhabana jaaka masole ba tshwanetse go tlhabana jaaka masole ba isimolola kwa morago mana wa matane fela kgwele ya go tswela ka kwa ntle a re bone jalo Ikram Rainers ana thuso Ikram le ka go bona gore a ka bona phatla ka ya batsa kgwele wa e romela fela ba kgona go sireletsa kwa morago the Desert Warriors ba kgona go sireletsa kwa morago the Desert Warriors Kabela kwa pele 2 minutes may concern fela ba ithula ka tlhogo kwa morago a re bona re batla dira ka kgwele mo tlhaselong a re bona re batla dira Benoja Michael another costly mistake from South African goalkeeper.
Yeah, OJ, exactly my line as well. What I was going to say, for the second match in a row, it's a calamitous error from a goalkeeper in South African colours that have cost the team here today. South Africa started the second half with such a swagger. Temba Zwane with some delightful touches in build-ups. They might even have had a third goal. And then from that error, which I suppose can happen to anybody, here it is. It's a very good finish from Brahimi, who hasn't scored for his side for some time. It's his 15th international goal for the captain, who plays for Al Gharafa in Qatar. It's a very good finish. But Ronwen Williams, who was having a really good game up until then, he made one brilliant save in the first half. And unfortunately for him, well, it happens to the best. And he concedes there again. And since that goal, you can just sense it's lifted the mood in the stadium. The home fans have got behind their team. Algeria playing with a lot more confidence now. And 2-2, here's Aid Nouri trying to dribble his way through his opposite number, Monare. And the referee's not having any of that. But the changes, well, Amoura off, Bentaleb off, and Zerouki and Kindusi on. Kindusi, who made his debut, incidentally, for Algeria last week against Bolivia, coming on as a sub, and Zerouki, who started the game last week. Well, they're on. Ronwen Williams needs to be careful. You don't want to be playing passes like that across your own box, just given what's happened in recent times. Nice work here from Mobi. Aid Nouri getting on the ball, but South Africa need to show their strength now. They need to show their mettle. They've been the better team for much of this game. And now it's a question of, can they lift themselves again to find another goal? As Monare finds himself down on the ground once more. Well, I was about to say at the start of the second half that the graphics people at the stadium who had the South African flag as the Bolivian flag throughout the first half, I don't know how many of you noticed it, but we had the Bolivian flag next to RSA, and the graphics people realized that was the graphic from last week, and they changed the flag to the South African flag. And ever since they did that, Algeria back in the game. 2-2. There is Buneja, man who scores some very, very big goals for his country. Hasn't really had a chance today, just having a debate there with Grant Kekana. And the Brains Trust, Grant Johnson on the right, Hugo Broos on the left, just debating some changes. It's another change here for Algeria. They're going to take off Buneja, who is their leading goal scorer in the squad, and they're bringing on their number 30, who is Moussef Bakrar, for only his second match. So interesting that he should come on, the man who plays for New York City in the United States. So Moussef is coming on here, and Buneja goes off. Moussef Bakrar is just 23 years of age. It's only his second appearance for his country. So the coach, who played as a midfielder for various clubs in an 18-year career, did the coach. There's confirmation of the change. Buneja off, Bakrar on. And the coach, who had an 18-year career, 1981 to 1999. So say former Swiss manager for 7 years, and coached a little bit at Bordeaux, but lost his job there. And he's decided to give some youngsters a chance. And now another mistake by the South Africans at the back. What are they doing? They're committing harikiri here. And Ouar trying to take them forward, then a professional foul, taking one for the team, so to speak. And the substitute has just come on. Bakrar finds himself on the ground through that challenge from Thabang Monare. But South Africa are really committing suicide here. And Monare had to make that challenge. That's what you call taking one for the team, because otherwise the cross would have come in. South Africa were underloaded effectively defensively there. And they're just making a few silly errors here. Hoja and I were discussing off air at half-time, can South Africa keep this lead? Can they be mature enough to maybe add to it or just show the maturity? And they've made a few bad errors. And the game is now 2-2. Remember, Algeria last week came from 2-1 down against Bolivia and won the game in the 95th minute through a strike by a man who's not part of the squad today. He's had to withdraw for personal reasons. So he's not playing today. Ball played into the area and defended. But again, the captain does well, Brahimi, who's just scored a goal and trying to set up another opportunity here. The corner conceded. South Africa just losing it a little bit. You sense that they need mental strength here. They're starting to lose the plot. They're allowing Brahimi to run at them. It's a very, very strong run. It's well blocked in the end and put behind for a corner. But this is where they need to show their mettle. When Algeria scored their first goal, South Africa responded well and equalized. Now, ball played into the area, again goes to the far post and just too high for the man coming around the back, Ouar. And South Africa clear through Modiba, but his pass doesn't find a teammate. And it's collected now by this man, the substitute Zerouki. Plenty of space now on this near side for Benzia, the man who started the scoring. As we go into the final half hour here, I venture to suggest there's plenty left in this game. Zerouki, who was born in Amsterdam, spent 4 seasons at FC Twente in the Netherlands. And now again possession conceded. South Africa doing sloppy things at the back. Is there someone to finish it off? Now they need someone just to put their foot on the ball. That's nicely done in the end. And Koki can, or rather Kulu, I beg your pardon, can release the ball away and just clear the danger for the time being as Algeria recycle it back to their goalkeeper. Do you sense momentum has changed in this game? And coach Hugo Broos yet to make a change. I wonder how much longer he's going to wait, who he might look to bring on his fresh legs. Here's Zerouki looking up, then deciding no, the better option is the pass to Ouar. Zerouki again. Tries to thread the eye of the needle. That's good play from the Algerians, and suddenly they've got a bit of an overload down the right-hand side. Men arriving in the box. The cross, though, is too strong and too long, and South Africa are given a reprieve once more. This is an Algerian side who went through 2023 completely unbeaten, played 15, won 11, drew 4. Very good record that they had in that year. Here's the South African change. Apollos is coming off. Only his third appearance. He's had a decent game today. Just starting to fade a little bit now. And the changes being made. Mokwana, who I think deserves a chance. Marchaman as well coming on here. Marchaman, the man who certainly pulled some strings in that game against Dora when he came on to shore up the midfield. So he's on as well. And Mokwana, who really impressed last week in an otherwise pretty poor performance. So Apollos is off, and Monare, the only man who started both games. The side, a little bit of steel in midfield. He's a man who likes to hang on to the ball, and I think it's a change that was necessary. So Marchaman is on. We'll see what he can provide, but Mokwana very, very confident, scored a lovely goal last week as well. But Algeria have certainly upped the pace, and they're playing with a bit of a swagger at the moment. Concede possession one more time. Here's Zerouki. They're going to go all the way back to the defense. Mandi, 94th match for Mandi, scored against Bolivia. The white shirts just starting to swarm a little bit now. Mistake by Mobi. And now two players get in each other's way, but there's options. Wide, didn't have that much control, the substitute Kendusi, in only his second match for his team. But this man, the captain, number 11, here he is. And finished nicely, and also has been instrumental in a lot of his team's attacks. Well, Coach Petkovic looks as if he wants to make another change here in French. Williams will be rueing his mistake that has allowed Algeria back into the game. 20 minutes gone, second half. It's 2-2, and it's all to play for, OJ.
Elias Mukwana falaja kadirile Katalandora Awatsa katamalalo Elias Mukwana atsana ka lebokotsola le etene bona baleka go ipuella baleka go tlhalosa sengwe batsameki ba Algeria Elias Mukwana o tswa go tlhopensa babina noko mega ketse gore ba ngwaregelanga a re bona ka botsa mo iketlilenga bona Elias le ka go tlhoma leitlho ba le ka go ipelaetsa gore ke tla o e bona go tla mo letlhakoreng le fela ba le ka go ipelaetsa batshameki ba Algeria fela ga go a kgomiwa kgwele yao ga gona seatla mo kgweding yao ke tharo Afrika Borwa ke pedi Algeria. First touch ya ga Elias Mukwana, first touch ya ga Elias Mukwana a dira jalo phetogo Raimi watswa me ba go tsena jalo le ka bona la Ben Rama kena tsenang Abadumele ba ge ba Algeria gore ba iteilwe keng Afrika Borwa jaanong ba tshwanetse go itsutsupanya diphoso tse ba ntse ba di dira ba tshwanetse jaanong go tswa mo diphosong tseo tshwanetse go etelela pele jaaka mo kapotene Ronald Williams simolola kwa morago setse a potulwe ke di le tharo kwa morago mona wa Zegba thula ka tlhogo kwa morago sireletsa kwa morago Afrika Borwa kgwileo Sianda Tlolo go molemo a ke tshepe fa ba di tshamekela mo Ronald Williams ka tseleng tse jang ba romela kwa pele the captain ke te ba mmoleletse mokwana gore mona o na apara nomoro eo jersey number 17 ke mang ke te ba mmoleletse gore mona o na apara jersey eo mo motshamekong wa gagwe wa ntlha mo mebaleng ya setlhopha sa bosetšhaba ona no sa nno di le 4 ka kwa Wagadugu ga e aparwe fela nomoro eo Ronald Williams yo ke sa tshepeng tšharisa mala ka seatla bona Ikram Reynolds ge ba mo tseleng ya ga Elias Mokwana Themba Zwane bona jalo Gran Margeman ge ba jalo mo tseleng ya ga go molemo Maphosa ba ya ga Afrika Borwa jalo ba e tshwara mo go bone a re bone gore ba tla dira mo kgweleng eo Themba Zwane Nyiko Mobi e ba latlhegela Afrika Borwa ya go tswela ka kwa ntle fetoga go nna goal kick a re bone kgwileo simolola jalo mo mpeng ya lebala Zeroke ya go tsena jalo ka lebakotso la ditene a re bone ba tla dira naga ya Algeria what a beauty 3 minutes re bona lebebe la kgwele ya dinao re bona dino mo motshamekong Afrika Borwa ba tlogela monna re tologa mo lebakotso la ditene bona boitumelo ka fa letlhakoreng la Algeria ya boebela Algiers ya boebela Bebraaqi ba lekalekanya dino mo godimo ga motsotso wa bosoma a supa Afrika Borwa itebetse gape kwa morago bona ga motsamai ka tlileng ba ba mo lebakotso la ditene Zeroke Ronald Williams a utlwa ka nna ke morakere maloba ke maobane a utlwa ka nna mona o sa tswa go tsena kwa pankeng a tsa kgela ba tšhalo mo tseleng a nosanno ya gage ya bobedi mo letsatsing la gompieno monna wa Benzea nosanno ya gage ya bobedi Afrika Borwa ya go tsiboga jang fela re setse re bone dilo di le thataro mo motshamekong Margeman Ronald Williams yo ga ke solofele gore na solofetse gore a tla banose dilo di ka nna tharo mo letsatsing la gompieno fela setse a potulwe ke di le tharo fela jaaka Zegba a potulwe ke dilo di le tharo kwa morago Kaufman Keno Managno motshameki wa bolesome le bobedi wa setlhopha sa naga ya Algeria ba go tswa ka lebelo go tswa jalo metlhale a re bone fela ba kgona go sireletsa kwa morago ba kgona go sireletsa jalo kwa morago Algeria Afrika Borwa ba tsela kgweleo a re bone Afrika Borwa kgona go tseka loto kwa morago Afrika Borwa ba lwa jaanong ba tsena ka lebakotso la ditshedi ba baka sekhutlo yalo Afrika Borwa mona o noseno di le pedi Benzea Petero Themba Zwane wa tswa mme kwa go tsena jalo le ka bona la Mosele Hamagale ke teke Thapelo Morena mme Mihlali Mayambela wa tswa ke tsona diphetogo tsa Afrika Borwa Manosi wa nole le pele Themba Zwane bana ba le babedi ba no sa brace mo letsatsing la gompieno Themba Zwane ga mogale Benzia Hana bona diphetogo tse Thapelo Morena tla tsena bona kgweleo bona ka mokgoba ya khileng ka gone buntle ba ba feleletsa buntle kgweleo ha ba ipotsa gore go diragetseng a monna yo wa Tebogo Mokoena phetogo le pedi monna wa Benzia wa tswa Manosi wa nole le pedi wa tswa fela jaaka Themba Zwane a tswile me Morale no tswile Aua Tota me motho go le basega se re tla bona nofa ha re bona gore Algeria ba tlhasela jang ba itsa ba robela ka go botlhaba jalo bala monna o sa tswa go tsena go tswa jalo ko banke mona yalo wa ama se kore ba sireletsa ko morago Afrika Borwa ba sireletsa Ronald Williams ha ba khona go sireletsa Ronald Williams mo kgwelenyeo ba tsweletse baagi ba Algeria go rotloetsa setlhopha ba tsweletse ka dikoma go ka rotloetsa setlhopha go ya kwa pele sireletsa Markhaman ba mafafatshe fela motsereganya ba le ana le gaufia ba ka phoso khatlhanong jalo le mona wa Kendochi ba ka ile phoso khatlha le Kendochi Let's tell you, let's cut off an hour to go, Mike. We're still expecting more goals.
I tell you what, we've had a treat and a half. Last week we sat through the appetizer and some people were put off eating. But what we've had tonight has been a thriller minute. You would have thought at half-time that Themba Zwane's goal will be one of the fantastic goals of the season. Who would have thought it was not even going to be the goal of the game? What a spectacular bicycle kick from Benzia, who's not going to get a hat-trick because he's gone off and been substituted. He's got 2 goals. And it just has been an incredible match. South Africa showing a lot of steel to get back into it, having conceded that soft goal through their mistake at the back by goalkeeper Ronwin Williams. They then went 3-2 up for a goal that's not going to be given to Mokoena. Much as I love Mokoena, he's going to get the assist. The final touch was off the head of Ikram Reyners, so Reyners gets the goal officially. That's how it works technically. Some might say it's unfair, but it's Reyners' goal, so it's his first goal since scoring against Botswana in the COSAFA Cup in 2023 in Durban in July in a 2-1 win. So it's a goal for Reyners, even though some will say it should be Mokwena's goal. But Reyners did have a decisive touch that took the ball into the net, so effectively it's his goal. That's how it works. Of course, own goals, if the ball is going into the goal, it gets credited to the player who takes the initial strike. But if it's your teammate and it deflects off your teammate, then your teammate gets the goal. So it's Reyners' goal, following up on Zwane's back-to-back goals in that first half. And for Algeria, Benzia gets 2, Brahimi has 1. They've both been substituted as well. It's 3-3, as you say, OJ. Who's going to grab the next one? The next goal could be decisive. Algeria have scored 6 goals in their last 2 games, but they've conceded 5. It's been an incredible game from end to end. It's had 6 interesting goals, some real quality, some through defensive errors. But you can see that there's something special building in the South African team. And they are very, very much a better team than they've been before. They don't let their heads drop. They continue to push, and here they go again. And here's Reyners looking to set it up, sends the pass slightly wide, this time to Morena, who's unable to pull it back, but South Africa will win it back in the centre of the park again and will work hard. They've got Markhaman in there now. Kulu sending it wide again. Nice little touch from Mobi, who stayed on the field. Kulu going back to his goalkeeper. And you venture to suggest there's more action left in this one. South Africa, it's their last international fixture until their game against Nigeria away, as they ready another change. And Kanyiso Mayo looks as if he's going to get some game time. Didn't really take the chance last week. This is going to be a free kick on the edge of the area. Foul committed by Goodman Mosele on Ait Nuri. So Kanyiso Mayo, of course, comes from a tremendous footballing pedigree. His father played for 5 different clubs in South Africa. His father, Patrick Mayo. Here he is. Kanyiso Mayo will be in action potentially on Saturday on your screens against Kaizer Chiefs in the match we're bringing you. Ikram Reyners, he's got a goal tonight. He's got 7 goals in the PSL this season, and it makes him 2 goals in 7 appearances now. But South Africa have defending to do here. Said Benrahma is over the ball. One of 6 substitutions that Algeria have made. One of them, Hadjam, the number 13, is celebrating his 21st birthday today. So if they score, it'll be a moment to remember. Well, that's 3 points in a rugby match. That is certainly not going to threaten Ronwen Williams' goal. Poor free kick from Benrahma. And who wants it now? 10 minutes to go. South Africa have had a whole host of draws, 5 draws in their last 7 matches. Are they going to get another one today? Or is there going to be a winner for somebody? It's been... I hope you haven't gone to bed, because this has really been full of tremendous action. Here they come, the Algerians again. Side-splitting pass, ball squared back into the area and just miskicked on the volley. Otherwise, it would have been a 4th goal for Algeria. Now South Africa could get something here potentially on the break. Excellent work there from Mokoena, but unfortunately his pass goes astray. And the home side, the Desert Warriors, the Fennec Foxes, call them what you like, pick up the pieces. And they'll look to attack once more. Down that far side with Seruki. Looks at his options. It's good defending, good solid defending to win a free kick in that position. Well, this man, Anis Musa, one of 6 changes. Anis Haj Musa, who's come on, but very good work here from Modiba, who at times has been criticised for some of the defensive work that he does, but he's very, very much improved in that position. And in the end, miskicked on the volley, but South Africa doing nicely to tidy things up. They know just how close it was to potentially taking the lead again. So South Africa have had the lead twice. They've led 2-1, they've led 3-2. Algeria led 1-0 against the run of play when they did take that lead. But it does show that there's plenty of promise, and there's plenty to look forward to if the side are allowed to develop and allowed to grow on. They've blooded some players who've really taken their chances. Mokoena is the man who stands out for me, but Ikram Reyners had a very, very good game today. Mayo's got a chance to do that now. Apollos had some delightful touches, should have had that early goal. And the coach has certainly blooded some young, exciting talent to go with the experienced players like Zwane and Mokoena and Kekana and the like. And Ronwen Williams, of course, in goal. Just slowing it down to walking pace now, trying to draw the Algerians out so they can look to attack once more. So many changes. Mayo can't win it in the air. He doesn't win all that much in the air. He's strong on the ground, but now the defense just stands still and allows the gap, and Ronwen Williams redeems himself for his earlier error. Well, Bakhrar, in only his second appearance for his team, was one-on-one with a keeper there, and Ronwen Williams stood firm, as he did in the AFCON penalty shootouts on more than one occasion. Mokoena arguing the point there with the referee. Not sure what he's arguing about. He's potentially saying there was a misdemeanor in the build-up, but that really should have been a goal. Credit Ronwen Williams there for some very good goalkeeping. Comes out, makes himself big, and forces the striker to make a choice. And the young man is not the most experienced in the world, just 23 years of age. Had to pick a side, and you knew he was up against a quality goalkeeper, and he couldn't beat him. 7.5 minutes to go. I still venture to suggest there might be some more twists and turns. Ait Nouri taking the side forward here. Good bit of work from him and winning a free kick. Midway inside the South African half, and the referee decides it's time to go to the pocket again, and he books Markhaman for that challenge. Well, this has been a thriller-minute game. So many incidents to talk about, but Ait Nouri having his legs chopped out from underneath him. Man who plays for Wolverhampton Wanderers in England, a side who've now become established as a Premier League side for a number of seasons. Remember how they struggled in the Championship probably about 7, 8, 9 seasons ago. Struggled to try and get promotion, but once they won promotion, they've pretty much kept it. Here's Mokoena. So exciting when he's on the ball. Such a brilliant player. Tries to thread the pinpoint pass and just doesn't quite get it right. But he's a man who's taken his opportunity with both hands. Ben Narama sending it wide to Hajam, the birthday boy. So confirmation of the yellow card to the SuperSport United man. And forward comes Gitun. Good challenge. And the ball put out of play for a throw-in. Modiba's been very strong defensively. Or I beg your pardon, made a defensive error rather in that qualifying match in the rain against Rwanda. Let me get my matches right. So many matches have been played. One match almost blends into the other. Here's Hajam, the man we've been talking about. But Modiba's defensive work has been very, very good today. Here's Zerouki, keeping the attack alive. 28 here is Kindusi, threading it through. Have Algeria got an opportunity. Ait Nouri is wide, but the ball is fed, goes into the centre. Should have been a goal again. Good goalkeeping from Williams, who stands firm, makes himself big and denies Kindusi the chance to put his side ahead for the second time in the match and score the 7th goal. It was good goalkeeping. It was a brilliant move here. I'll just describe it to you again. Look at that. I think the South Africans thought the pass was going to Ait Nouri out wide. Instead, he went into the centre. The defence is nowhere. And Kindusi should have put that away. So, OJ, 5 minutes to go in a match which has given us absolutely everything. Who wants it more? But it's been pulsating. I hope you're still awake, and I hope you're enjoying it. It's 3-3 with 5 to go.
Ray Goodman and Brown. Goodman Musele. Abata Kileo. Wait a begala chalo motile nyaka tebo. Arbone chalo sianda kulu. Africa Bora. Nagute bunti jobone bakay tsoro baro beti. Meo libella khili malatia la mabedi. Letati la laboraro, la labobedi. Potela potati la laboraro. Kepsam Rembula. Arbone tebo. Abata khila fela baisira la takomara Romadani. Abaisire letsa komaraho ya goto jalo kazeroche arbone batadiranga khileo bairumela kopele pela Africa Bora baba senya khile khape maposa obre Modiba arbone batadiranga Algeria the Desert Warriors baba rumela o khape ya goto la kwante fetoka khonna golki lebella tsupara kwentare mesutele merarole halofo faile gore wa timela gidi khwanyana Chora ke boroko ichoke bala metsotso fela ile mmalwa gore motshameko ya bokutlonga me mo kgelenya dina sengwe le sengwe se ka diragala mo metsotseng ya meraro eo sengwe le sengwe se ka diragala mo metsotsong e le meraro. a re bone go molemo re le kare ga ke tshepe fa ba e tshamekela mo tseleng ka tseleng tse jana mo go Ronwen Williams fela kgona go e tlhabela kwa pele Ronwen ga e gope re tloga jalo ka Hajam tlhabela kwa pele mona wa Mandani e boa jalo kwa morago ka Afrika Borwa re bone Gran Margeman wa ya kwa pele bona Mayo kwa pele ke bona jalo mona wa Morena bona Tebo o Morena pula go dira tsotlhe tsa tshwanetseng go di dira le ka bona le fela go tlhoka selo se le nosi fela lesego ke yone placing e o na e ba kwa e tshwanetseng go ya gone fela monna wa Zegba a taologa a sireletsa kgwele wa baka sekhutlo a re bone fa go na le ka bona le motho a ka reng ga ke tseye sepe mo batshameking ba ba masetlhopha sa bosetšhaba fela fa go na le monna le nosi yo ke itseng gore fa tsotlhe kete di wela fa tlase di wela tlase o a di tsholetsa Tebogo Mokoena fa bona kete sekepe se a wela go nna monna yo tsa maikarabelo a go rwala setlhopha ka magetla a re bone the Desert Warriors ba e batla no ya phenyo gopola gore ke bone ba amogela baenga mme ba tshwanetse go ka fenya fela ba ba sireletsa kwa morago fela Afrika Borwa ke gore le kare ga ba kitla ba rata go bona ba latlhegelwa mo lebaleng le le teletsweng ka fa morago ga tata Nelson Mandela na le ka go tsamaisa nako Modiba fela le ka bona la Giton a re emella a re ke metsotso e le mebedinyana fela emella Aubrey re feleletse motshameko mme ke yone nako e masisi e ke yone nako ya Afrika Borwa e na leng go latlhegelwa mo go yone e segolo thata jang go na le dead ball a re bone ba tsaya kgwele ba e romela tsela ka le bagotshola daitene ba ba jaaka mo kanawane ba tla go nosa nno ya bobedi ka mo kanawane fela kgwele ya betswela ka kwa ntle ya go fetoga go nna goal kick tlhokile lesego la go e tshwara fela o na eme le nosi monna wa Benrama Mayo a ba senya kgwele Mayo ba go ba o tlhaa jaanong ba ya kwa pele fela Afrika Borwa motho a ba ke to gata mai ba go ba o tlhaa ya Algeria fa ba sa tlhokomela Afrika Borwa mo metsotsong ya bofelo metsotso e le metlhano 5 minutes re tsheketswa metsotso e le metlhano Ray Goodman tota ke Thapelo Morena James Tebogo Mokoena Thapelo Morena Margeman jaanong se ba tshwanetse go se dira Afrika Borwa ke gore ba e tshware mo go bone kgwele Sydney Mobi tsa le bodutu Sianda a ba e tsa Sianda go e ba mo tseleng ya ga go molemo Goodman tshameki ba le babedi fela ba ke itseng ba dirise leina la Goodman ka gopola motshameki wa bona wa Moroka Swallows Goodman Tlhokwane moraga gage ga tsa lobaka mme re na le Goodman o mongwe a re bone Khanyisa Mayo a ba tsa kgwele tela e romela kwa pele fela Thapelo Morena be ne tsentswa mo wa thata ba ya kwa pele ba ba rotloetsa ba rareng ba ya kwa pele Algeria a re bone kgwele ba ba e tsa ba e romela mo lebokosong thula ka tlhoko ko morago ba le ba ntla ka lebokoso la 18 Afrika Borwa ba tla sireletsa jang monna o tsena ka lebokoso la 18 jaanong ba tla go ba dirisa diphoso mo tsena ka nyare le Kgorometse na ba tla go ba dirisa diphoso fela motsereganyi wa Ghana na batla fela gore ba mo kgome monna yo wa Aitnori fela nna botlhale ba nna botlhale Sianda Kolo kgwele ya go tlhomiwa ko morago tlhomiwa ke Aforika Borwa metsotso e le mebedi le disekente gore motshameko ya bokhutlong ba e tlhoma Ronan Williams o e tlhomile Ronan Williams rumela le telele a bo go tsweleditse folaga go kaiwa phoso ka tlhano la Aforika Borwa file le bantela bo kapteini monna yo wa Mandi go tswa jalo mo go Ibrahimi me go le dikgwele di le pedi mo lebaleng motsereganye ba laela gore busetsang kgwele kwa morago ba laelwa go busetsa kgwele kwa morago re setse ka motsotso thata metsotso e le mebedi re ya kwa metsotso e le mebedi ya bofelo kgwele ya tlhamile ke Mathani kwa morago o e tlogela motshwaradino wa gagwe Zegba potilwe ke di le tharo fela jaaka Ronan Williams kwa morago tlhabela kwa pele thula ka tlhogo kwa morago Sianda Kolo tshamekile botoka thata mothakari ya lo mo letsatsi la gompieno Sianda Kolo tshamekile botoka mo letsatsi la gompieno Margeman fela ba mo tsela kgwele ya Margeman Aforika Borwa ba senya kgwele fela ba sireletsa kwa morago Sianda Kolo o batla kganyisa mayo ba ba mo tsela kgweleo e wela mo tseleng ya ga Tebisa Mrembola yo ke gore lenkele a le nosi a ka se rola setlhopha se fa rata a ba romela ka kwano thoko bona Thapelo Morena a ba itse ka lo thoko morago ba sireletsa fa ratile kgona go lemoga morago ga motsamao o boela gape ka lebelo go sireletsa ba tswa ka lebelo jaanong naga ya Algeria ba ya ba lebile Aforika Borwa 0-0 ba romela ba batlile ba tlhaba Aforika Borwa ka lerumo ke gore selo se leno se kere le ka motho wa bofelo mo dira dibuwa tsena go le godimoga a Penrama ana ya gile sentle kgile monna yole wa Musa Hanis Haji Musa fela a tlhoka lesego Penrama mothakare motshameko jaanong go lebile go ya bofelong go lebile go ya bokhutlong disekente fa o di lebelela o ka di lebelela mo tshwantsong sa gago o ka di lebelela mo tshwantsong sa gago bontsi bo emeletse ka maoto go ipaakanyetsa go ya go robala a re bona re batla dira mo kgweleng eo ba ba isireletsa kwa morago ba lebelela tshupanako monna wa ka kwa Tunisia a ba budula phala lekgetlho la ntlha la bobedi la boraro go ka bokhutlo jwa motshameko mme o fela ka tsela ntseng jalo 3 Aforika Borwa 3 naga ya Algeria